Hi, this is Chanel. Hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about manipulators. Okay, so manipulators, what to expect when a manipulator can't control you. Things to recognize when, or things to pay attention to. Okay. In order to determine whether someone is being manipulative or trying to control you. Also, just understanding the mind of a manipulative person. Okay. And so, one of the first things that I want to state is that there are three things that a manipulator really focuses on. Okay, they focus on, number one, control. Okay, control is the main reason why manipulators do what they do and say what they say. Okay, they want control. Okay, so control is one. Number two would be perception or image. So they want to keep a certain image. Okay, their image is everything. All right. Also, a storyline. Okay, there's a story that manipulative people often want others to follow. Okay, or believe, or both. Okay, and or believe. And so it's important to pay attention to those three things when you're trying to figure out if a person is being manipulative or not. Okay. So one thing that I've noticed is that manipulators want control by any means necessary. Like I said, control is the driving factor behind why a manipulative person or manipulative people do what they do. Okay, they want control. It doesn't matter what they need to do to get it. They want control. Okay, control of what? Many things. It could be control of property. It could be control of a person's mindset. It could be control. Anything. Okay, so a manipulator wants control. All right. Now we should all, as adults, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, you're not a child. Okay, and so as adults, we should all have self-control. Everything in life should be done with order. Okay, and so, you know, there needs to be order. There needs to be people in place to make sure things are done in an orderly fashion. Okay, however, there is a difference between maintaining order and gaining control. Okay, that's two completely different things. All right. And so, like I said, a manipulator wants to control by any means necessary. Okay. So what will they do in order to gain control? Or if it's by any means necessary, what will they do? They'll lie, they'll steal, they'll destroy. Then there are a lot of things that go under that umbrella of destruction. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but when someone wants to destroy, okay, or eliminate, you never know what length what length a person will go to get what they want. Okay, so lie, steal, try to eliminate, destroy, create false storylines. You know, those are just a few things that people will do in order to get what they want. Another thing that they will do is what's the word? They create allies. Okay, they need people to join them. They need people to back them. Okay, they need allies. All right, and so I've seen a lot of manipulative people try to be the first ones to hurry up and tell a false storyline in order to gain control over whatever it is they're trying to gain control over. Okay, so like I said, lying is very common. Okay, manipulative people are very competitive. One thing that I think about when I'm everything, if you've listened to everything I just described, okay, one thing that I think about is election time. Okay, so when there are elections and there are more than one party who is competing against the other, like I said, competition, or the competitive aspect is definitely something that's always or almost always common when you're dealing with the manipulator. Okay, unfortunately, there are times when people will compete against you and you don't even know it. Okay, so like I said, secretive competition, okay, is something that's common. There's a lot of comparison, okay, and so like I said, just pay attention to those things when you're dealing with. Just pay attention to them, period. Okay, or like I said, competitiveness and a lot of comparing. Okay, when it comes to and I'm looking at my board. I wrote notes down a few minutes ago. When a person is willing to go to the lengths that I just described, okay, like I said, lying, stealing, getting people together in order to form groups that will believe what they want them to believe, okay, and do what they want them to do. 9 times out of 10, there's a lack of morals. Okay, you can't have morals and lie. You can't have morals and steal. You can't have morals and create false storylines. Okay, and like I said, it's dangerous. These people are dangerous because you don't know what lengths they'll go to in order to get what they want. Okay, so manipulative people are very dangerous. All right. And so what are some of the things you can expect when a manipulator is trying to control you? Okay. One is grouping up, and I just said that. Okay. Creating allies. Okay. Oftentimes what they will do is they will recruit people to join them, okay, to believe them, to join them, to do whatever it is they're doing, okay, and then there will be this act of seclusion or exclusion from whoever it is they want to gain control over, or whoever the storyline is about. There is this exclusion, so that the other person does not know what's going on. Okay. Another thing that they often do is encourage, and almost from what I've seen, a lot of times it's more than just encouraging someone. It's more so it's more of a demand. A lot of times they will almost demand that you don't speak to the person. Okay. exclusion and division is created so that for purposes of control, okay? Because if they want to give the storyline and they want everybody to believe that one storyline, and they don't want the other person or other group or whatever the case may be to know what the storyline is and to correct the storyline, or to give their to give their truth or perspective or whatever the case may be, if they don't have to worry about that, they can control it. Do you understand? And so exclusion is something, exclusion and forbidding communication is something that's huge with manipulative people, okay? Destruction. There are many ways that manipulative people cause destruction, okay? Many ways. They will destroy many things, okay? I've seen manipulative people destroy relationships, okay? Manipulative people have destroyed finances. Manipulative people have destroyed just a lot of things, okay? A manipulative person has a destructive mindset, all right? Anyone who promotes division and confusion, control, that's, divide and conquer. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've heard of the phrase divide and conquer, okay? That's destructive. I mean, we're all adults. Again, if you're watching this, more than likely you're an adult. Anytime one adult tries to control and suppress another adult, they're not doing it. They're doing it for purposes of suffocation and destruction. Okay, and that's for their gain. Okay, if it's for one party's gain and another party's destruction, or well, I mean, that's what it is, destruction. You see what it is now. If you're, but the problem is, from what I have seen, a lot of people only look at it if they're told, this is what you need to believe, this is what's going on, this, don't talk to them, this person is that, or this group is that. More than likely, if this person or group is if they're loyal to whoever the manipulator is, then the manipulator will have their way. Okay. Secrecy. All right. Again, don't they want it to be a one-way street. A manipulator wants to have a one-way street where what they're saying is the only thing being heard. Okay, they don't want two sides of the story. They want one side of the story. They want that side of the story to be theirs, and they're adamant about, again, maintaining secrecy. Okay, or secrecy within that group. Okay, that makes it easy for them to do what they want to do. All right. Smear campaign. I just talked about the when it's time for elections. Okay, and you'll notice that again when more than one party is running against one another, they run smear campaigns. Okay, they will pay people, be it people are normal in smear campaigns. There are parties who are paid in one way or another to basically smear the name of someone else. Okay, so again, smear campaigns are definitely common when you're dealing with a manipulator. Okay. Manipulators are often devious. Okay, I mean, everything that I just named off are devious behaviors. Okay, a manipulator will do what they can get away with. Okay, I've written the book ABCs of Manipulation, and in the book, one of the first things I said was that there are people who attempt to do everything right. There are always do right. There are people who will most frequently attempt to do wrong, and there are others who do what they can get away with. Now, within that category of those who do what they can get away with, there are some who do what they can get away with, no matter who they're dealing with, and then there are others who do what they can get away with, just depending on who it is. Okay, so for instance, if it's a close friend or family member, and they do what they can get away with only with certain people, more than likely they're not gonna try to screw over a close friend or family member, people that they care deeply about. Okay, however, if it's someone who does what they can get away with, no matter who it is, it doesn't matter what the relationship is, they will do what they feel will elevate them, basically. Okay, however that may be it financially or emotionally or whatever. Okay, they will do what they can get away with. Okay, so like I said, when a person is attempting to manipulate you, it's important to pay attention to these things. Okay, like I said, pay attention to people who lie frequently. Pay attention to people who create division. Okay, and they don't want you to, hear both sides of the story. Okay, a person who's not manipulative is not gonna promote separation. Okay, they want everybody to come together and gain understanding. A manipulative person does not want you or anybody to have understanding. All they care about is controlling the narrative. That is it. Okay, they want to control the narrative, and they want the narrative to go in their way, or they want the outcome to go their way. Okay, so they're concerned about again, controlling, being in control of people who can control themselves. They will sabotage whatever they can sabotage or destroy whatever they can destroy. They tell lies. They promote separation. They don't want everybody to come together and talk and come to a peaceful conclusion. They want what they want. Okay, and so, like I said, just pay attention to devious behaviors. I'm also going to say this, and I did a couple of videos about masks and costumes that manipulative people wear. Okay, manipulative people wear masks and costumes. Okay, meaning what you see is not what you get. Okay, now nobody's perfect. Okay, I think that we all, have pivots in life for different reasons. However, there is a difference between wearing a mask and just flat out lying, and just being a human who's not perfect. Okay, nobody's perfect. However, there are definitely devious reasons behind manipulative behavior. Okay, and so I think it's just important to pay attention to those things. Okay, so thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Feel free to comment and like, and again, thank you for watching. Bye.